Welcome everyone to our second hybrid meeting. I'm Janice Segardo, Chair of the committee, and this is weird, so I'm just gonna just stop me if I'm doing something wrong or if I went out of order. I am going to first call roll to establish our quorum. So here in the room, we have Andre Allen.
Present.
Okay. Let's see, Demario Boone.
Present.
Thank you. Shalandra Burch.
I'm here.
Thank you. Terry Burnside
Present.
in the room. Chief Echeverria
Here.
is here in the room. Kevin Evans is not here. Allison Galvin is also predisposed. Chanel Hargrave Murray, I think, also had other engagement tonight. Or maybe she was going to come late. I don't see her up there.
She came in person last night.
Yeah, she said she was going to come, but happened to leave early. So let's see. Mr. Jackson. Lorraine King.
Present.
Thank you. Lee Lang.
Present.
Tyson Parks III said he's going to arrive late. Catherine Shidley. Present. Alex Sierra, I think, is also unavailable. Karen Wilson. Do not see Karen. And Janice Segardo, I'm here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have enough members attending to establish a quorum. So first, I'm going to read the governor's proclamation. The public notice, and bear with me, I have to read this. It says on April 29th, 2022, the governor signed a new disaster proclamation extending the statewide declaration through Saturday, May 28th, 2022. With the signing of this new disaster proclamation, public meetings may continue to be held remotely, subject to the requirements of Public Act 101-0640. Commissions and committees may still hold their meetings in person if they choose to, provided they still have a quorum. 1, standard 48-hour notice, except for an emergency meeting, to all members of the public body, posted at the meeting location on the public body's website and provided to any news media that has requested notice. The notice agenda must include the remote access information on it, and the agenda must state if in-person attendance is allowed at any remote hybrid meeting. This is a change from previous meetings where individuals needed to contact the city for the call-in number, Zoom link, password, etc. 2, during the meeting, participating members must be verified and must be able to hear one another, as well as hear all discussion and testimony. 3, during open meetings, members of the public who are present at the meeting location of the public body must be able to hear all discussion, testimony, and votes of the members of the body. 4, if attendance at the regular meeting location is not feasible due to the disaster, alternative arrangements must be made, and notice of the meeting must include the arrangements that will provide live public access to hear all parts of the open meeting, phone numbers, Zoom link, etc. 5, at least one member of the public body, the chief legal counsel, or the chief administrative officer must be physically present at the meeting location unless it is not feasible due to the disaster, or other member of the public body may attend in person or remotely. 6, all votes must be by roll call, identifying each member and recording their vote on each issue. 7, standard minutes of all meetings must be kept, approved, and made available for public review as usual. And 8, a verbatim audio or video recording of all meetings must be made and available to the public for review. These meeting recordings are public records and must be maintained for the Open Meetings Act. Okay, so I see we also have some other people to welcome. I see WMBD, someone named Susan Brown, Paul D, and Moss Perkins, and Ramsey Kalani. So welcome to everyone. We understand that you might not be able to have your camera on, but if you would be so kind as to turn it on when you're talking, we appreciate it. And I see a hand up, but I don't know what it's.
That's the mouse.
Oh, that's the mouse. Okay, good. So no hand up. That was weird. So let's see. So we're gonna, we have some members in attendance that have to leave early. So we're gonna be zooming through, no pun intended here, the agenda in the beginning with any votes that need to be cast so that those members can leave and go about their other responsibilities tonight. The first thing we're gonna do is approve the minutes of the April 14th meeting, 2022, that came in your packet. I personally would like to amend a sentence in the unfinished business part where we were talking about where we plan to hold the meetings. I think that we also talked, we said Councilman Allen discussed the idea of rotating in-person locations. I think that I'd like to add there also that committee sentiment exists to rotate locations when the COVID cases subside. And Chief Echeverria has expressed that he would like to continue having this room available also. So I would just like to add that a sentence in there, because that's what I heard in the room, was that people would like to eventually get these meetings into the neighborhoods when it's safe to do so. Does anybody want to speak to that, adding that sentence in there? Is that what you guys heard also? So do I need to make a motion to add that sentence, or can we just add it and then ask if the minutes can be approved with that sentence in? Does it?
You could make a motion,
Can I make a,
with that amendment to the minutes.
okay, so I want to make a motion to add that sentence to the minutes that says committee sentiment exists to rotate locations when COVID cases subside, I guess in neighborhoods. So would anybody like to second? Okay, so Ms. King seconds, and let's vote on that. I'm only going to call the people that are here, and if I miss your name, please tell me. Andre?
Yay.
Demario?
Yes.
Shalandra? Shalandra's still here. Shalandra, I'm going to come back to you. Terry?
Yes.
Chief Echeverria?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Shalandra, are you back with us?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Shalandra. Okay, so now let's would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Andre, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Burnside, second, is that Mr. Burnside?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's go through the roll again. Andre,
Yay.
Demario,
Yes.
Shalandra,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Catherine,
I wasn't here at the last meeting, so I'll vote for it.
okay, and Janice says yes. And if someone else shows up, please tell me, because I know we have some people who are going to arrive late. Okay, so we passed the minutes, we approved the minutes of the last meeting. And actually, that is the first item under unfinished business. And I think it's going to be there forever, but the location of the future meetings. So I guess what we need to do right now is decide where do you want to hold the June meeting? Does anybody want to make a motion to hold it elsewhere, or do we want to continue meeting here for June?
I motion that we meet at the York Police Department in June.
Okay, thank you. Andre made a motion to meet here in June at the, and I guess in a hybrid way, Andre, so people at home can join us as well.
Yes, I motion that we meet at the York Police Department with the hybrid format.
Okay, thank you. So would someone like to, I don't know if you guys heard that, Andre Allen made a motion for the June meeting to meet in a hybrid manner as we are tonight.
I'll second.
Lee Lang, second. Thank you, Lee. Okay, so I'm going to go through the roll. Andre,
Yay.
Demario,
Yes.
Shalandra, I'm going to come back to you. Terry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Catherine,
I vote yes, I'm saying I want the meeting to be held here.
here and in a hybrid manner as it is tonight, just for June.
Just for June.
We're just doing June.
Okay,
We're just
yes.
doing the month of June, and I think we're gonna have to keep doing.
Yes.
Okay, and then Shalandra?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound busy. Thank you. Okay,
I am sorry.
it's okay. We got you. So I think we're gonna keep this agenda item under unfinished business, and I know it's torturous to have to talk about this every time, but I really do think there's a huge sentiment for getting these meetings. Oh, there's Miss Wilson. Well, get these meetings out into the neighborhoods just as soon as it's safe. So what I'd really like to do before the couple people have to leave is I'd like to entertain nominations for new officers. I'll be going off the committee in July, so we'd like to have nominations for chair in tonight and then vote on those in June. So first of all, what I'd like to do is ask, would anybody like to put their hat in the ring and tell us that they do want to be chair or vice? So the two officer positions are chair and vice chair. So does anyone have a particular interest in guiding this committee into the future here?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
the person's not here, but Chanel Hargrave Murray.
Did she say she was interested? Miss King? Miss King said that Chanel Hargrave Murray might be. Did you have a conversation with her that she might be interested?
Might be interested.
Okay. I think we can nominate her and then she can always take her name off the ballot in June if she shows up.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would like to nominate Shalandra Burch as chair.
Shalandra, okay. So we have Chanel and Shalandra nominated to be chair. Would anybody else like to nominate
Lee
someone?
has her hand up.
I'm sorry,
Lee has the
Lee
hand up.
Lang?
I was going to nominate Shalandra, so I agree with Andre.
Okay, thank you, Lee. Do we have any other, we can close the nominations for chair and start talking about vice chair if there are no more nominations for chair. So would anyone like, and I think we can do this sequentially so that once the chair is nominated, once the chair is voted on, I think the person can still be on the ballot for vice chair. So does anyone would anyone like to nominate someone for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Lee Lang for vice chair.
Okay, Andre would like to nominate Lee Lang.
I second that.
Catherine, okay. Lee Lang,
I'd like to nominate Lee Lang also. She's
Okay.
cheekbone.
okay, thank you. Anyone else have an idea of, so do you guys want to, we can vote on chair first in June, and then would you like to drop the person who doesn't get nominated for chair to the vice chair election also? Or would you just like to do one or the other? What is your, have a conversation about that?
As long as the person who doesn't get chair, if they're okay with being considered for vice chair, I think that's fine.
Okay, it's kind of like a little, our own modified ranked choice voting here. So what Andre said is, as long as it's okay with the person that was nominated, whoever does not become elected chair, if we could put them in the vice chair category as well. So the ballot right now,
Madam Chair, can
Yes.
we clarify what iPhone is?
iPhone, we welcome you to the committee. Would you please tell us who you are? We don't see a name associated with you. Is it Mr. Burnside? You turned yours off, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is the person whose identifier is iPhone willing to tell us who they are? I guess not.
They're on mute.
They're on mute. You have to unmute
They
yourself.
should hear us.
What's that?
We can't hear them.
Yeah, they can hear
They
us.
should hear us. Ask them. What do they want?
Or just rename your iPhone with the 3 little dots and tell us who you are. Okay, so I think Chanel's not here. The next, moving on to the next item is the subcommittee reports on sufficiency of Peoria's ordinance to meet our community needs. Chanel Hargrave Murray had made a proposal, and I think it was under this subcategory last meeting, that we create subcommittees to help in the neighborhoods. And I thought she was going to talk about that tonight, but if she's not here, I think we need to have a motion to create a subcommittee to help in the neighborhoods and then have those committees decide what they would want to do. So I don't know if anybody wants to pick up the mantle on this or if we put it on continuing unfinished business. Does anybody want to talk about that?
I think we should leave it on unfinished business until Chanel is here to discuss more, because it is her idea and it is a good one. And so I think we should wait until she's here.
Okay, so is there any other discussion under that item? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll keep that on unfinished business, Chanel's idea, and it's actually in your minutes where she proposed that. I think there was a lot of support. It was under new business to help with the committee's reach into the community to get more engagement. So we'll wait till she's available to have that conversation. The other thing under unfinished business is we have a June roundtable planned for our meeting to discuss House Bill 4736, which I believe Chief still here? You said was passed yesterday, or it was in the newspaper today? Tuesday. So we're still going to have that conversation in June. It'll mostly be updates on what the goals are for the ordinance, what the goals are for the bill, and I guess Chief is going to give us some preliminary ideas of how it's going to be implemented here. And if you don't know what that is, it's the bill to have social service workers help with certain calls. Is that about right?
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough.
Close
Okay.
enough.
I think it's a really important piece of legislation that could make a huge contribution to our community. So that's kind of why I put it on that.
I think what's important to just remember for everybody that's from Peoria.
Can you guys hear Chief? Chief is talking.
Before I walk out.
Yeah.
I think it's important to just remember that this is legislation that started here in Peoria. This is homegrown here. So it's not some idea that came, well, the ideas and concept we had where I came from, but to make it into legislation, it's here, and everybody else that's jumped on board, Springfield, Waukegan, St. Louis, they did that. They jumped on board with it. So people are looking at Peoria. People are calling over here to find out the policies, how we're going to do it. So they're looking at us as the standard on this. So I think that's something to be proud about. So that's it.
Oh, wait, oh, you have to go now. Okay.
Why?
I was just, well, if we're coming up on your next item, which is any stats or anything like that.
Oh, we got a lot of stats, but I won't have time to go over.
Okay,
I
we'll
gotta
do it
get
next time.
Yep,
Okay,
thanks.
One web, so I have one question. Is this any different from like the first response thing, like Mr. Hobson was doing in the past, or something different?
I don't know, Mr. Hobson.
Brian Hobson teaches out of the,
Is he on the RS?
yes.
Is there any teachers here?
Remember, he teaches the police department. It's not of the,
Mr. Burnside, could you come ask your, even though he's in the lead, can you come ask your question down here?
Does he work for the ERS now?
I'm not sure what the title is.
So ERS, AMT, Unity Point, Department of Public Health, all of them are partners in this one.
All of them are partners?
Yeah, they're
So
key
you said
parts.
ERS, EMT, and.
Yeah, all of them are key parts of this.
Okay.
When we implement this, they are all key parts of this, including the communication center, the fire department.
Okay.
These are all key components to a successful co-response.
Okay, so we're gonna look forward to hearing more about that.
It's a lot longer. It's
Yeah.
just a lot deeper.
Yeah, we're
A lot
gonna,
more
so
going on behind the scenes.
I apologize for the sidebar conversation there, but I think it's issues that we're gonna cover in June, because I think there's a lot to this legislation that our community wants to learn about. So the sidebar was really just a little bit about the content of what's going on. And hopefully we'll get those questions answered in June with the chief. I'm sorry to be rushing through this. Does anybody want to slow me down with anything? Did I miss anything? Okay, so chief just had to leave to go to another commitment. So the general police update, we're gonna have to catch next time. Did I miss anything? Is there any unfinished business or new business that anybody would like to bring up before we move on?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. King.
Chanel Hargrave Burch said she was receiving an award tonight. That's why she.
Oh, what, congratulations. What award did she receive? So the news just in from Ms. King is that Chanel Hargrave Murray was busy tonight receiving an award, and we don't know what, but we'll congratulate her when we see her. So thanks for that news. Okay, so if there's no other issues, we're going to move right into the citizens' opportunity to address the committee. The one issue we have was attached to your agenda packet. Ramzi Kalani, is that how you pronounce your name? Did I pronounce it properly? Okay. You're muted, so I'm going to let you unmute. And basically what this committee does is listen and let you present your complaint. And then mostly what we do is we will hear the complaint after it's been processed through the normal procedures. But right now we are here to listen. So if everyone could mute themselves, Dr. Kalani has 5 minutes to present his issue to us, and then we have the opportunity to ask questions. So please, welcome.
Well, good evening, everybody, and appreciate the opportunity to really come and talk to you. And I just want to introduce myself. I'm a neonatologist, which means a baby intensivist. My main job is to save newborn lives. And that really is similar to what the police are doing. They continue to secure the security of our population. So yes, we filed a complaint, but this file was not in any way an accusation of the police. We just wanted to have a fair investigation for what we think is legitimate concerns of what happened. Let me just brief you as much as I can. So the incident occurred at a playground of the school after school hours. My son, who's 7 years old, was playing with his friend who's 6 years old. There were like 6 or 7 families, inclusive of the moms of those 2 kids. So they were playing with the playground gravel stones. These are small stones. And they were like putting a line and trying to throw the stones to exceed that line with their hands down forward, not like raising their hands up. And there was a guy who's 37 years old, happened to be a doctor, and his daughter, who's 2 years old, was on the ground. He was standing beside her, and one of the stones seems to have hit his pant or came close to him. So he became furious and started cursing my son using the F word. So my son felt that he's furious and gets scared. So he ran to him to say sorry. So this guy grabs his daughter from the ground with his left hand, and then grabs my son from the back, from the shirt, from the back of the neck, and turned him like 180 degrees and shuffled him halfway through the playground with him describing himself as he was unable to breathe, and he thought that he's gonna die. Then the other kid who was following them smiles, and I know this kid, whenever he's stressed, he smiles or laughs. So he dropped my son and pulled the other kid same way and told him this is not funny, and dragged him the same way till he reached to where the moms and families are standing. And so both moms were like shocked and approached him. How comes you do these to kids? And he started really cursing them, using the F word, using bad language. screaming at them, "You're crazy." They hit me and so on. So my wife said, I'm not talking to you. I'm calling the police. This guy started laughing. Yes, call the police. He didn't bother about the police. And during the interim of waiting, he was showing the principal of the school, who came later, a text messages coming from somewhere telling him where about the police, that the police were given the wrong address to another school. And then they had another call for the correct address, and they're gonna reroute. It's gonna take them some time. The principal said probably up to 4 hours. That's what he told the mom, so that they can leave. But the police came within probably 10, 15 minutes. This guy went to talk to the police. My wife stopped the police and said, "I called you." She told him what happened. The police had exclamation mark on his face, astonished by what happened. But then when he talked to this guy, who was really laughing with the other police and joking, and he came back and changed his tone. The police changed his tone, put his arms on his waist, and say, "Moms, do you know that he was aggravated? Your kids hit him with a brick, and your kids can be liable. You can be liable. He can press charges." So an attempt to persuade them just to ignore the situation, and then this guy came and apologized verbally, but said that I was provoked. So my wife said, "There are witnesses," and asked them. And he asked none of the witnesses. She said, "There is a video." And he asked the principal. He said, "Yes, there's a video, but I don't have access to it." And that's it. So that's the end of the scene. Then when the other kid's father heard about it, he called the police again to his house and called me. We met the same policeman in his house, and I asked him, "How come you let this guy go?" And there was no really bricks even. There's only small gravels, and we want to press charges. So he had our names, information. I said, "There will be an investigation in this," and he left. So we waited 3 days or 4 days, actually. We went to the police to find out that the report says inactive case. So at that time, we requested to file a complaint. I have already went to the police website and found that you can complain. And a sergeant came and talked to us, and he helped us to show us how we can file a complaint. And we did. And another sergeant, when we submit the complaint in hand, was also very supportive. And we received recently a letter from Lieutenant Poldeep that an investigation will be going on, assigned to another lieutenant. We have not yet heard back from them. The other issue about the incident is the video. We had the ability, after pushing the school board, and to see the video. So me and my family and the other guy family watched the video, and actually his daughter was 2 years, not 2 months, like he said. There was no bricks. This little stone probably not hit him or even his pant. And it's exactly as I have mentioned the story, contrary to his story. The police asked to have a copy. They gave them a USB. So far, the school called the police back that they need an authorization. They have not received it, and there is no copy of the video with the police right now. When we received the report, we filed the complaint before the report, but when we see the report, if you read the report, all what you get from the report that there is an adult who was hit by a large brick by kids, and he had that left a mark on his chest. The police took a photograph of the red mark on the chest 6 hours or 7 hours after the incident. And there is no mention of anything about the kids, that the kids became the offender, and this guy became the victim, as in the report. So that's in a very nutshell summary. Not to mention that the dad of this guy is on the board of the school. He's probably on the top supervising members on the board of the school. He's a financial sponsor to the school. He also told us specifically that he paid millions to the school to make it easy for us to bring our kids. And if we cannot watch our kids in the playground, we should not bring them to the school. I think I will stop at this point if you have any questions.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I'm very sorry this happened to you and your family. I'm gonna allow the members to raise their hands if they have a question for Dr. Kalani. You have two things in your agenda packet. You had the complaint form, and then afterwards we shared with you the police department's non-crime report. At this point, all we're allowed to do really is ask you questions and listen. If it is an ongoing investigation, but I guess what I'm hearing from you and what I'm reading is that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, your concern is that there is no case. Is it your concern that the case is inactive? Because that's what I'm reading here in the complaint.
Right. One is inactive. Second, if you read the report, there is no mention of what happened to the kids. What happens to those moms when he was yelling at them, screaming, using bad language, raising his hand? There's nothing. The only thing that you can get from the report is that this guy was hit by a brick that left a mark, that the police had a picture of it 6 or 7 or 8 hours after the incident.
Okay, thank you.
And I can say that the video is still not in the hands of the police.
So right now, it sounds to me, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong. You just want to know what the status is, whether the police have the evidence of the video. Is that what you're asking right now? And that you want the report to reflect your complaint, which is that
Right.
the other gentleman's actions
Exactly.
towards your wife and the other children.
Yep. And we have our story, we have the video, and we have witnesses over there that they saw what happened.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I don't see any hands up. Are there any hands up behind me in the room? I don't have questions.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, Lieutenant Deeb.
Yeah, hi, sir. I'm Lieutenant Deeb. I'm the one that sent you the letter. So I wanted to just pop on here real quick. I do want to apologize for one thing. I didn't get all the complaints that are written come to my office. I'm the professional standards lieutenant. I was off in training during that week, so I didn't get it until actually the day I sent you the letter. I read through it, made the decision where it should go, and sent you that letter. So it was a few days behind. So I do apologize for that. To tell you the truth, that spurred a change that I want to make, in that I want to have them scan and email complaints to me, because I check my email all the time, and we don't have that lag time. So that I want to apologize to you for, and just kind of briefly explain the process. A complaint like this would go to the shift supervisors. Like I said, all written complaints come to my office, and they're determined whether they stay with me or go to them. I have spoken with the shift lieutenant about it. Again, since the investigation's ongoing, I can't really get into any detail, meaning pertaining to your complaint, that is. But just to let you know, I did send it to him, copies of it. I also spoke to him as well personally about the incident, because I pulled up the case number so I can make sure he knew which incident was referring to. As far as what's going to happen going forward, again, I can't comment on that, because I don't know what route it will take. But I did just want to let you know that was part of the lag time, and I do apologize for that happening. That again, I'm hoping to change that and have stuff sent directly to me via email, so we don't have 4 or 5 days, because I totally understand how that lag time could be frustrating as well before you hear anything. But it is being looked into, I can assure you that, and it is being dealt with. As far as the outcome, like I said, it's not my investigation at this point, so I don't want to speak for somebody else and be wrong. But I did want to pop on and just let you know that much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all what you're doing, and we trust in a further investigation. I must, on the emotional level, just mention that for a couple of days to a week from the incident, we lost a couple of security zones. One at the school, which is supposed to be in a way our kids community, because we didn't feel the support. Second, the police has always been our zone of security, and we kind of lost that. And then home, because this guy lives 4 minutes walk from where we live. And so we lost all kinds of zones of security, but I'm really glad that we found that there is a way to go that is already made, that we were very well received by the other surgeons, and we appreciate your letter coming back to us. I think on top of our list is really to regain the trust and feeling of security with the police that we respect highly.
Sure, and I sincerely hope we can regain that trust from you, sir.
So it sounds like the case is ongoing, that this information that we have, that the case was dismissed, is not accurate. Is that correct? I mean, we can't, I mean, I'm certainly not asking you to divulge anything, but just that it is an ongoing investigation. Is that accurate?
I can't say yes or no because I didn't write the report, and I'm not where I can access it, to be honest with you. Right now I'm at home, so I can't access the report system to look. I will say this, sometimes we have to put a code on every report we write, be it an arrest or what have you. Sometimes things are marked as inactive, and I'm not saying this is the case with this one. I'm just kind of giving you, for instance, that it'll be marked as inactive, meaning until I gather more information, or until I'm able to go get something else, it's going to be inactive until I can open it back up again. Again, I'm not saying that's what the case is with this, because I don't know. I didn't author the report, so I don't know the ins and outs. I guess I'm saying don't automatically take an inactive as completely done. We have to put a code on there regardless, or it won't even let us submit the report.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Are you able then to communicate with Dr. Kalani to maybe incorporate some of his complaint in to understand the investigation? Because he doesn't feel that the report reflects accurately what happened. So is that something that you all can work out?
Yeah, what I can do is I can coordinate with the shift supervisor, the lieutenant that the complaint was sent to. And again, I talked to him briefly about it again today. So I'll coordinate with him again over the next few days when I see him, or I'll just give him a call and maybe at a minimum try to get you some updates. I think just letting people know as things progress often is helpful as well.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Lieutenant David. I saw some other hands up. Lee, did you have a question? Someone had a hand up and it's down now. Does anyone on Zoom have a question for either Lieutenant Deeb or Dr. Kalani? Okay, what about behind me in the room here? Does anybody have a question? Okay, so Dr. Kalani, thank you for coming. What I can tell you is we are here. We meet, when we meet now, you are welcome to address us anytime you want. You are, I think Lieutenant Deeb offered, I'm not quite sure, he offered to talk to you, or have someone talk to you about this. And you can circle back with us in the future if you have other concerns. Does that sound fair right now? Well, once again, I'm sorry this happened to you and your family, and I hope you can get it resolved. Am I missing anybody back here?
Yeah, no, thank you so much, sir, for your transparency and your comments to us. And, we definitely hope we can get this resolved for you. So thank you.
Welcome.
We want you to feel safe in your home and at your school.
Thank you. I appreciate your help and your opportunity for discussing this, and thank you for all that you're doing.
Well, that's what we're here for, so. Okay, I guess we can move on to items for the good of the cause. Does anyone have anything they want to share? We hear Chanel Hargrave Murray got an award tonight, so we want to congratulate her. There was something just now in the chat, but I missed it. Did anybody catch what That's Shalandra.
That was Shalandra saying to the guy that she was sorry that happened to his.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for reaching out to me. Very sorry that happened to your family. I'm reading Shalandra's chat into the record here. Thank you, Shalandra. Does anyone have any items for the good of the cause? Andre, I'm gonna pick on you. What do you, what do you have? Tell us something good or bad.
You know, I mean, I don't want to go into council business, but but I'm excited. We got some road projects coming, so you already probably saw if you drove on Allen Road, they're already getting out there to be working on that. Then we'll be going over to Nebraska, going out to Pioneer, going out to Orangeburg. So be on the lookout for those orange barrels, but you know, we're gonna definitely get some drivable roads out here, so I'm excited about that.
Okay, yeah, so committee member, council member Alan just shared with us all the road projects going on in the city, so drive carefully through those construction zones, please. And respect your workers. Ms. Kane, what do you think?
Oh, I just wanted to say that yesterday I attended the memorial service for the police officers as well as the awards ceremony. And I just want to congratulate all the officers and their families for the work that they're doing. I was very impressed with some of the reports that I heard of the things they had done in the community. And they emphasized the fact that they were able to do these things by de-escalating the situation instead of escalating. And I found that very encouraging.
That's huge. Can you guys hear what Ms. King said? She said she attended the ceremony and that she was impressed with the amount of de-escalation officers were engaged in the community, which is a big step forward. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else?
There's a great police presence when they're doing.
Well, you got to speak at the microphone's all the way over here.
There's
Pastor
a
Tyson,
great police presence out in a positive light in light of some of the negative things that happened. They're doing the walk and talks, and I thought it was great representation. I ran into Captain Call and a couple of the sergeants, so they're out doing it, beating the pavement. It's a good look. I know things happen, but they're trying to change the perception, and I think that's important.
and that's on Thursday night.
Yeah, they're doing it right now.
So,
Actually,
Tyson Parks III is in the house now, and he shared about the walk and talks. They're on Thursday nights. You can go through the neighborhoods with officers, talking to community members. Chief Boone said it's a reflection of the culture of the leadership for the culture of the Peoria Police Department. So thank you, Chief. Lee Lang has her hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that if it wasn't for this meeting tonight, I would be on the walk and talk. I have been going on them, and I think that is something that I highly recommend that committee members think about going on. You get to talk to the people in the neighborhoods. You find out that they are very happy to see the police coming into their neighborhoods. I asked one gentleman last week if they had a neighborhood watch, and he said, no, we've got a really good neighborhood here. And the whole time Assistant Chief Dixon was talking to him, I was watching the gentleman, and his eyes never stopped moving. I would imagine that when we got done, I could have asked him how many cars went through the neighborhood, what make, model, and color they were, who was driving them, how many officers stopped at houses where there was somebody, how many officers stopped at a house there was nobody, and how many people in the neighborhood had dogs. Now that might not have a neighborhood watch, but I'll tell you, that man was a neighborhood watcher. And I think that that's one of the things that we need to stress as part of improving relationships with the community and the police department. Neighborhood watches work, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind living next to this man. He knows what's going on in his neighborhood. But I think it's a good thing, you know, and the committee members might want to consider going.
Lee, thanks for sharing that story. What neighborhood were you in?
It was the one over by Patio Inn on Hansler Court. That was 2 weeks ago. Last week, I went to the one at Mount Holly, but I was the only one who showed up because it was raining. So I guess they all thought they were going to melt if they showed up.
You persisted.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you for representing.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing, Lee. I know committee member Allison Galvin, she attended one as well recently.
Yes, and what I was wondering um, is who on the committee would like to do this, or should I just call Simone? I would like, since I'm going to be going on these, because it's a commitment I've made, I would like to have something that I could hand out with the with this about this committee. And so does anybody have any objections? Am I getting with Simone and coming up with something? Do y'all want to approve it? How does this work?
I think that's a great idea. Do you want to form the subcommittee with Chanel? Because this is kind of up the alley of the subcommittee she was talking about trying to penetrate into the neighborhoods and let people know about us, having to extend the things the committee's doing. I know that there is a form on, there are 3 forms online under the police department, under our committee. One discusses the compliment or complaint form, and at the end, and then the second is the complaint form in English, and the third is the complaint form in Spanish. And at the bottom of that first document, our committee is mentioned in a paragraph that if you are unhappy with, or if you would like to talk to our committee, our email is on there, and we have gotten contact through that form. So if you don't
Okay,
want
but I don't really want to focus on complaints because I'm not hearing complaints in any of these neighborhoods. I would just like to get our name out there so that more people might attend these meetings, that it doesn't have to be complaint. It can be just getting people more interested in coming to these meetings and becoming involved. You know, that's what I would like to see happen.
I think it's a great idea.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Remember, there was a time we did have a brochure. I don't know if they said, there was a brochure about our committee that we had. I don't know if it was there when Christina took over. But there was a brochure, Christina.
I would, the reason I would like to have something is because when I went with Assistant Chief Dixon last week, he was introducing me as a member of this committee. And I would like to have something to hand them. A brochure would be good. Anything that just calls attention to this committee.
So Ms. King thinks that we had a brochure at one point. The only brochure I remember seeing is the one that's online, because the form allows you to give compliments also. But if you find it in your files, let me know. No,
I'm hoping it's Joyce.
I don't know if Joyce.
I can look, but
Okay.
I don't.
Christina's gonna look. I think it's a great idea to have something in your hand to pass out. I'm gonna let Shalandra talk, and then Lee, you can follow up if you have a follow-up. Shalandra has her hand up.
I was just gonna say before Ms. King spoke that if we didn't have one, I would help Ms. Lang with the brochure, but it sounds like we already have one. We just gotta locate it.
We may or may not. It has not yet been determined whether we can find it. So we'll let you guys know.
Okay, I do have a shirt. I have no idea where I got that from, but I do have a shirt.
I have a red shirt also. I think Rita had those made. Remember, do you guys have
Yes.
that? Polly?
ICC did those for us.
ICC did those, yeah. So I can pass mine along. You can wash it up and pass them. We did wear them when we had town halls before COVID. We all wore our red shirts. So let's see. Shalandra, do you still have your hand up? I'll let you finish your thought.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Ms. King, did you want to follow up?
It was just a follow-up to the awards ceremony yesterday. First United Methodist Church has a group of people that pray for the police officers, and they do certain little activities. And so yesterday, a large number of them came out. One guy was his first time ever coming. So they were present yesterday, and they got to meet the chief. And the most important thing was they got to meet some of the officers that they had prayed for. And I had to bring that up because they were from the First United Methodist Church, not the United Methodist.
Did you all hear that? Okay, thanks, Ms. King, for sharing that story. I saw another hand up, but it's not up anymore. Does anybody up there on Zoom have their hand up? Does anybody want to follow up? Okay, that was a nice discussion. Anybody over here? Okay, well. Okay. Okay, so I think we are done in record time. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay,
Second,
and Lee Lang seconds. Okay, let's get through this vote here. Andre,
Yeah.
Demario,
Yes.
Shalandra. Shalandra disappeared. Terry,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Lee,
yes.
Tyson Parks,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
and I say yes. And Shalandra's back. We have a motion to adjourn, Shalandra.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, have a super good evening and we'll see you in June in a hybrid manner.